Hi there, my name's Beth, and today I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite books of 2015. So these are books I read in 2015 that didn't necessarily come out in 2015, because I don't think I actually read more than about 10 books that came out in 2015. So these are books, most of them are really popular, but some are kind of lesser known. And then I have a couple of graphic novels or comic bind ups to share with you that I really enjoyed. So, to get on, I'm going to start with the comic bind ups and graphic novel. And the comic bind ups is actually a series that I read the entirety of this year, or in 2015, and I really loved. And besides one other, but that is a really common one, I loved this series so much. I might have actually enjoyed it more than Saga, but that is the Alex and Ada comic bind up series. This is the complete series. It's 3 bind ups, and it follows a main character, Alex, who is given a artificial intelligence robot, more or less, in Ada for his birthday, and it's all about their adventure trying to make her human. And yeah, it was so good. I flew through this in probably 2 days. Most of that was just waiting for the next edition to come out or to come in the mail. But yeah, highly recommend this, and it was definitely one of my favorites. The graphic novel that was my favorite in 2015 was definitely Nimona. This is such a fun, fast-paced, awesome graphic novel, and definitely a really good place to start. This is the first graphic novel I've read. The rest I've read are comic bind-ups, and I loved this so much. So yeah, that's why it's getting a spot in this video. So the next 5 or so, or 4, I guess, are more well-known books that I read this year and I absolutely loved. So I'm going to show you those. So the first one is kind of not super deep, but it's a contemporary, and I don't generally read a lot of contemporary, but these were so fun to read, and I flew through them. And I'm not sure if I read the first one last year in 2014, so I guess 2 years ago now. But if I did, I'm sorry. But this is the Anne and the French Kiss and Lola and the Boy Next Door. Both of these were amazing, and I could not just pick one, so I picked both. But I might have read this one in 2014. So if so, it's this one. And yeah, these are so fun, and I'm looking forward so much to reading Isla in 2016, so this year. Next, again, is another one. I couldn't just pick one, so I had to pick 2. And that is The Kiss of Deception and The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. These are fantasy books, and this is the first and the second in their trilogy. The 3rd book comes out this year, so I'm so excited to get to that one. But these ones really surprised me. I have heard so many good things about both of these books, and I flew through both of them. I think I read both of them in the same month, plus a bunch of other books, and these are chunkier books, but I'm so excited to get to the 3rd one when it comes out. I'm gonna have books falling everywhere soon. So I have another one, but this one is not so much of the same series, but it's by 2 books by the same author, so that's why I'm counting them as one, technically. I also couldn't decide which one I enjoyed more, so both of them are coming on this video. So that is Throne of Glass and A Court of Thorns and Roses, both by Sarah J. Maas. I read the first book of the Throne of Glass series, and I absolutely loved it. And then I think I read this one first, actually. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and again, absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait to get to the rest of both of these series. The 2nd book comes out this year, and the 5th book, I think, comes out this year. So I have 4 more 3 books and a novella bind up to read for this series. But yes, I loved both of these, so that's why they're popular. And the final book in the really well-known book section, I guess, is The Winter's Curse by Marie Redkowski. This book totally surprised me. I didn't think I would enjoy it so much, but again, I flew through this in about 2 days, some on audiobook, some in just reading the physical book, and I was obsessed. Like, I loved this book so much. I have the second book on my shelf, so I'm going to be getting to that really soon, but I cannot wait for the third book and see how this whole trilogy ends. So the final 4 books are all individual books, and they are all lesser known. But the first one is one that was on my list for my top 5 favorite books so far back in June, and that is Magonia by Marie Devona Headley. And this book was so beautiful. It was so good, and I flew through it. But it's definitely one that has stuck with me from like May or April until now. So that's why it's on this list. And also, not a lot of people have read it or heard of it, because not a lot of people talk about it. So I'm going to get the word out there. The next one is kind of similar, but maybe a little less so. And that is The Sin Eater's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury. This book came out just along the time of The Red Queen, and a lot of people compare the two, but I definitely preferred this one, and I enjoyed it so much that it is making this list. So 2 more, and these are in no particular order. But next I have The First 15 Lives of Harry August. This is an adult book. It takes place in England. It deals with time travel. It's got a lot of very dry British humor, but I really enjoyed it. And again, this book is around 400 to 500 pages. I flew through it in maybe a day and a half. And yeah, I loved every minute of this book. And I will probably read it again this year, just because it was so good. And there's so much detail that I probably skipped over the first round, so reading it again is definitely going to help, but yes. And the final book I have for this list is The Fire Sermon. That's not even there. There we go. The Fire Sermon by Francesca Haig. This is the first book in a new trilogy. The second book comes out this year, 2016. And yeah, this is a post-apocalyptic dystopian kind of novel where each human is born with a twin, and one is the alpha and one is the omega, and there's a lot of drama that happens and a lot of crazy stuff that happens, and I loved this book. It is so beautifully written, and the world is amazing, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. I believe the next book comes out in May, so it's going to be a bit, but I'm excited. So yeah. So those were the top 10 books that I read, top 10-ish books that I read in 2015, and a few of them were books that came out in 2015, but yeah, I'm excited to see what 2016 brings for reading. In a day or so, I will have a list of the top 10 books I want to read in 2016. Again, probably not new releases, but we'll see. So yeah, until next time, have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you again soon. So yeah, bye.